relief, I think, because everyone had been talking about it for so long, like, oh, it looks like it's going to be #1, it looks like it's going to be #1. But we were certain that they jinxed it. And when the Sunday came, when they announced it officially, it was just like, thank goodness that we'd been talking about it in interviews the whole week, and it would have been so stupid if we'd been second or third.
I think we prefer almost coming to America where with kind of the underdogs more. I'm not sure how comfortable we are being like a band with a #1 album.
It doesn't sound right.
No, I'd rather #2.
Well, it doesn't really mean anything after the week's finished, and you have a party to celebrate, and then you go on with your normal life. I think we started comparing the demos to the tracks that we'd been working with other producers, and we just preferred the sound of the demos. We just had the confidence finally on our 4th record to just go ahead with doing it ourselves. Whereas before, it's kind of a nerve-wracking experience, and you think it's good to have a safety net. And the producer's often just a safety net, for your own insecurities. It's an old Bollywood soundtrack from 1954. And the film is about a snake charmer. It's called Nagin. I took the sample without realizing the sort of importance of this song in India and how huge it is over there. So it's only now that we've kind of realized what we've done. It's kind of like an Indian band coming over here and sampling Living on a Prayer or something and being like, I thought that was an obscure song.
It's used like frequently throughout Indian pop music for like the last 70 years. So it's like a song that people have been like
every generation.
Yeah. And now we've sort of covered it in our own way, I guess.
So we're going to check in the future before we do that. Interesting story. Last night on stage, the lights went completely dark during a song. Me and Jamie were doing a guitar solo, and we suddenly just freaked out and couldn't see what we were doing, so we had to stop playing. But my guitar that I designed for Farida, I didn't put the fret dots on it, so that you'd have to learn how to do it with your eyes closed. But it obviously hasn't worked because we still couldn't do it. But that was my thinking behind the guitar. It's force people to learn where they are just by sensing it rather than looking. I'd say Eyes Off You is like the most intimate moment of our set, where it just goes, everything like closes in and it's just piano and vocals. And if the crowd are quiet enough, then it's usually a nice moment and a chance to relax and breathe for a little bit and have some introspection. We've recorded a song called To the Bone, which was written during the 4th album sort of time. And we just couldn't find a space for it on the record sonically. It's kind of like a folk song. It's more to do with our 2nd album, Floors, our acoustic album. But we really wanted to get it out for people to listen to, so we thought Record Store Day is a perfect way to do that. Put it out limited 7-inch, and the B-side is an early incarnation of the last track of our new album. So that kind of gives our fans an insight into our writing process. Because here's a song that started off acoustic and more folk influenced and became this psychedelic electronic, album closer. So.